Hey everyone, welcome to day 8 of the Win or Learn 25-day risk-taking experiment. I'm Harlan Cohen. Today, we're talking about the 3 forms of rejection that you will encounter if you don't experience the outcome you desire. Let's dig in. So to demonstrate the outcomes, I want to share a video with you. This is from YouTube. This is from the channel How Ridiculous. And these guys went to Africa to perform a trick, a stunt. And here's how it all went down.
This is attempt number 3. Now, he got it in 3.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So can he do it again?
The fairy tale shot, surely not. Tell you what,
You couldn't.
it's in the ballpark. Oh! Stuff me, that
Mate, that was almost third attempt.
That was so close. These guys, they were there for several days trying to make this work. So they had these attempts that didn't turn out as planned, but they persisted. And then eventually, well, here's what happened. I wanted you to hear them say, "That's the best," because that's exciting. And they did it, and they were able to get the outcome that they desired. Well, when you go through this process, it can be painful. It can be difficult. And, hopefully you'll be able to make the shot. And if not, you will still experience something great, or you'll find something even better. So there are 3 forms of rejection that you may encounter when you take your risk. And these 3 forms are going to help you to be able to filter through the outcomes. If you don't get the results you desire, you're going to need to ask 3 questions. First, am I the problem? 2, is someone or something else the problem? Or is the universal rejection truth the problem? As you go through the process and ask yourself these questions, you are going to be able to answer them very easily, and you'll be equipped to be able to move through whatever you experience with confidence and clarity. Now, I want to be very clear that next week's lessons are going to help you to find people and places and be patient so you can be supported while asking these questions. But right now, it's really important for you to understand the 3 forms of rejection that you will encounter so you can be prepared, because then it doesn't throw you. It's just like, oh yeah, this is self-rejection. Now, self-rejection is the act of rejecting yourself before allowing anyone else to reject you. Some people take 1 or 2 risks and stop because the process is too painful. They reject themselves and they don't give themselves a chance. A lot of times you see this happen when it comes to love. Why should I ask this person out? They're probably going to say no. Or job opportunities, or something in your life that's uncomfortable where you decide that it's not going to go the way you want it to go. So you just stop even trying or thinking in a way that could hurt you or can make you vulnerable. Self-rejection is something that we go through in all different parts of our lives. And you might be great in one area of your life, but there might be other parts where you're still stuck in this place of self-rejection. So self-rejection is something I struggled with in college. When I was a senior, I was going to visit my brother in California. He was working out there at the time. And I was going to surprise him because it was a weird thing. I ended up winning money. That's a whole other story. But I wanted to use the money to visit him. So I called him up and he was real excited. And he said, "Hey, Har, why don't you try and get an internship while you're out here?" And I said, "Oh, that could be interesting." But I was a little nervous because I didn't really want to go so far from home. Then he said, "Why don't you try and get an internship with The Tonight Show?" And I said, "Why don't you be quiet? Just stop." And I said, "I have to go." And I ended the conversation. And the reason I ended it was because what he did is he taunted me. He wasn't really taunting me on purpose, but what he did is he presented this idea that seemed bigger than me, that seems like something I couldn't accomplish. Like, who am I? Why would they want me? I didn't know anyone. So I walked around the student union for a little bit, and then eventually I thought, why not? Why don't I just try, I guess? So I called information, because you had to call information then, and I asked for the number for NBC Studios in Burbank. I called the number. They answered. I said, "Can I speak to the Tonight Show offices, please?" They said, "One moment." Tonight Show offices, "Hi, can I speak to whoever's in charge of internships? They said, one moment, we'll connect you with Regina Ackerman. And then the phone rang. Regina Ackerman. Hi, Regina. I'm Harlan Cohen. I'm a student at Indiana University. I would love to be an intern at The Tonight Show. What do I need to do to apply? And she explained that I was too early to apply for summer internships. They were just interviewing for spring. I begged and pleaded. And after a lot of back and forth, eventually she interviewed me when I was in California, and I got the internship. And it was so cool. And it was at that internship I met a writer who wrote advice, which planted the seed that really turned into my whole career. This is a picture of Jay Leno and my mom. When the internship was over, my mom flew out and we drove back home to Chicago together. And that was really awesome. I mean, an incredible experience. Rejection by circumstance. There's a reason you're not getting the results you desire. It might have something to do with you, or it might have nothing to do with you. So when you don't get the results you want to ask the question, is it me? Or is it someone or something else? And you want to discover why. So rejection by circumstance is something I had to navigate when syndicating my advice column. When I graduated from college, I wanted to keep writing my Help Me Harlan column. So I would send my column to syndicates. Syndicates, they'll sell, distribute, they'll do all the billing. It's really hard to get syndicated. It's like 99.99% of people do not get syndicated. So every time I would send my columns to the syndicates, I'd get rejected. And every time I got rejected, I would look at whoever rejected me on that letter, and I would reach out to them. I'd actually call them and I would say, hi, my name is Harlan Cohen. I submitted some materials. I just wanted to know if you had a moment because I'd love to get some feedback. And I would ask them what they thought of it. And I'd ask them what I can do to be part of the syndicate. And they would give me answers. And it was really thoughtful. And I formed meaningful relationships with these executives. It was so cool. And eventually I became syndicated. I got syndicated because I was able to figure out how to be visible when the marketplace changed. This is a picture of my wife. This is when we were dating. We were super young then. And she rejected me on an online dating site. So originally I sent a note to this girl who I thought was really interesting, and I got an auto reject. I said this person, wasn't going to look at my profile. And I was really upset because I was really interested in her. Well, it ends up 3 months later, I met her at the UPS store and we started talking, and we ended up obviously falling in love eventually. But it all started by rejection by circumstance. And the circumstance is that she was burned out. She really wasn't interested in getting any more notes from people. And I also didn't have my picture on my profile. But all those circumstances were part of the process. It didn't mean I wasn't good enough. It just meant that it wasn't right for those reasons. The third form of rejection that you may encounter is raw rejection. Raw rejection is the reality that you will never get what you want from someone or something because of a quality or character trait. It can't be changed. You must accept raw rejection. Sometimes raw rejection can be personal. Someone doesn't like me because my ears protrude. It could be the color of my skin. It could be my religion. It could be many things. But the beauty of raw rejection is that if I can't get what I want, I can accept this because the universal rejection truth says not everyone and everything's could always respond to me the way I want. So if someone or something doesn't give me what I want, well, then I can try and find it from someone else, or I can want something else. There can be situations where you can change something that would mean compromising your values or character. And the thing is, if that's the case, then you don't want to change. You're not going to change. That's who you are. Another example of raw rejection would be when Arnold Schwarzenegger thought of running for president of the United States. I don't know if you remember this, but he couldn't because Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5, I say that like I know what I'm talking about, it says no person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible for the office of president. He wasn't born here, so he can't run. That's raw rejection. So Arnold just had to make more movies. Looking at the three different forms of rejection, self-rejection, rejection by circumstance, or raw rejection, which one of the three forms of rejection is the most challenging for you, and explain why. And if you'd like to share an example of when one of these forms caused discomfort, even better. You know how to send me the answers. You can always post on the Facebook group. I love seeing you there. You can also find me on social media. I'd love to interact with you wherever you like to hang out. And of course, please continue to invite people to participate in the experiment. They can join at any time. They can catch up. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm thrilled to be in your corner, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. Thanks, everyone.